Howdy and welcome back to another video. So I apologize. Um, I already filmed this video. It was complete crap. So here we go, round two. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. Hopefully the quality is a little bit better than yesterday. I don't know. I'm still working out the kinks on this thing. Yippee, technology. Sorry for my appearance. I had my second vaccine today, so I'm fully vaccinated, but there are some heavy ass side effects that I will do a video on. But we are not here to talk about that today. We are here to talk about Bill Cosby. Because this motherfucker was let out after 3 years of serving his 20 to 25 year sentence on sexual misconduct, sexual assault, forcing drugs onto other people so they wouldn't remember shit. And he was let out on a small ass technicality. And it just fucking boggles my mind that this is an actual fucking thing. That there was enough evidence to throw this prick in fucking jail for ever because he's old. So he would probably die in there. And yet he got out on a small technicality. So now he is fucking out there in the universe to just continue on doing what he did. I don't know, because he's old, but whatever. Or just to sit there and know that he got away with it pretty much. Just on a small technicality. I just want to wring somebody's fucking neck. You can tell I'm very hot-blooded with this. Because I have experience, unfortunately, in this scenario. So I know how bad the survivors are feeling and how frustrating and how devastating. And it's just, you just want to fucking scream at the top of your lungs because this is just such bullshit. Because, this is basically letting survivors know that there is no hope. And I mean, there are some cases that have actually seen justice, which is, unfortunately, when I was kind of doing a little bit more research into this, because I don't want to just come on here and rant, which this probably will be, so I apologize, guys. There's just the cases that have served justice to the cases that have not, it's just absolutely fucking devastating. That is how devastating it is that survivors most likely will never get their justice. And there was a case 1 or 2 years ago, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I don't know, where this director, creepy dude, got sentenced to life for all his stuff, but that is very rare for that to be seen, especially in the public eye. So just imagine not in the public eye. It's just honestly devastating just to know that this is not unusual. This is a very common thing for survivors to never get justice, or get a taste of justice and then have it ripped out from underneath them, And, I just, it just blows my mind because, yes, there are another side to this, that there are people that do false claims to sexual assault and stuff, but that is for everything out there, guys, okay? If the police can do their job and find out that it was a false claim, you can bet your ass that they can find enough evidence to fucking prosecute somebody or arrest somebody, to do that whole fucking service and keep them there in jail. I'm sorry. I hate it when officers or whatever say there's not enough evidence or whatnot. Okay, I'm going to put a trigger warning in here, guys. Now it's kind of this whole thing is kind of a trigger warning, but I'm going to get into some details here. So I'm going to just put on a heavy trigger warning here. So feel free to exit this video. Your mental health is important and all of that. So take care of yourself, and I'll see you in another video, or you can go see past videos, so my past self will see you there. Okay. Okay, so trigger warning in place. Let's continue. There is we live in a day and age where there is a technical fingerprint, which is text messages, phone calls, emails, um, data tracking, and just that, okay? But when they say, oh, there's no physical evidence, you know, abusers tend to like to cover up their tracks because they don't like to get caught, right? And some of them eventually they try to like see if they will get caught because that gives them a rush. But anyways, so they will wear a condom, so there's no semen or evidence in that aspect, okay? They will do bruises that are in not unusual places. What I mean by that is like they will do it like in places on your body where it's like, oh, she banged into something or he banged into something, right? It's not a uncommon thing to see bruises in that area. So like on your knees, on your thighs, or your occasional upper arms, right, where you bang into things. They will get smart, or they will be smart to hide the shit, And there are other ways to abuse somebody. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical. So it can be emotional, it can be mental. There is a mountain of different abusing situations where, you know, there might not be physical evidence, but there is some type of evidence out there that if the officers will do their fucking job, they can find it. And there is this law that is in place that just absolutely makes my blood boil. Like, I honestly just want to. Okay. And I'm not saying this law is in place everywhere. It's not. So I would do research into your own state and province and see if it is that law in that your place. Just in case. You never know, okay? Your safety comes first. But the law that I am talking about is if the officer does not see the abuse, no charges can be laid. No arrest can be made. And what I mean is, if Jimmy hits Julie and Julie calls the police come, on a domestic call, and they check out the scenario. And if they don't see Jimmy hit Julie, that's nothing. There is literally nothing they can do. Their hands are tied. They cannot press charges. They cannot do anything. They cannot arrest Jimmy. Okay, and that can be the reverse if Julie is the abuser, And it just boggles my mind. So if a survivor or a victim comes forward and says, and those proof, those physical proof, those bruises or whatever, or even if there's no bruises, and they come forward and say that this is happening, they literally cannot do it as law enforcement, press any charges, unless they see it with their own two eyes. Are you fucking kidding me? That is a goddamn law in some states and provinces that I honestly just want to fucking murder somebody. And figure of speech. I would never do that. But it makes me want to feel like I want to. Because, honestly, what the fuck? Like, do you honestly, like, what? Like, does it honestly take a dead body for them to do something? And I know how morbid that sounds. But, like, really? Does it really have to get to the state of somebody losing their life for them to take action? I think that is absolutely, definitely uncalled for. And that law should be changed in whatever province, state, country it is in. Because that is just so fucked up. Okay? And just to honestly have the evidence. Okay, there was enough evidence to put Bill Cosby away for 20 years, 20 plus years, and just to have him get off on a technicality because somebody didn't dot their I's or cross their T's, and he could just let it go. So he is a known predator, a known person who sexually assaults people and drugs them, There's that evidence, so that is known. He was found guilty for that and was serving basically a life sentence. But he is free to go now. He is free to fucking go and walk on the streets. I mean, sure, maybe he's under house arrest. I don't fucking know. But eventually he will be able to walk the streets. Yes, he's old as shit, but the people who honestly just say that, oh, he's old, he's not going to do anything. How the fuck do you know? He was drugging his victims. Okay, when you drug somebody and they are unconscious, you can do whatever the fuck you want with them. And I know how morbid that is, but that is just a fact. And that is what he was doing. So let me like play that out for you guys. Like, honestly, he is old, but if he happens to drug somebody, he can do whatever the fuck he wants with them. Because they are unconscious. They don't know any better. And you're probably saying, well, who the hell would be around him? There were supporters of him, guys. There are honestly supporters out there of saying that he was unjustifiably found guilty. And there was a lot of young women that believe him, that he was wronged. And I honestly hope that they have their guards up when they are around him. They don't leave their drinks alone. They don't leave their food alone. And I know how harsh that sounds, but if their choice is to be around that man, then I really hope to hell that they are safe about it. Okay? Because, everybody has free choice, whatever. They can do whatever they want. And I know some people are going to say that's disgusting, that nobody should be around him and whatnot. But also don't forget, some of those people might be his victims. And they are programmed to, and I hate the word to say program, but that's kind of the only word to describe it, is to, support the abusers. And, I've talked a lot about this in other videos, like my Stockholm videos, or, video, I should say, there's more to come. My PTSD videos, sorry. Just fast speaking here. You never know what's going on in somebody's life, right? So you don't know what those supporters are doing. You don't know if they are a victim, that they haven't come forward, excuse me. Maybe they haven't come to terms with it. We don't know. I'm just saying, I just hope that they are safe and smart, whatever they're doing, That is their choice. I hope that they make really good choices. And, if something does happen, that they find the support system that they need and can come forward and talk about this. Unfortunately, I don't think he can be retried on any of these charges except for the ones that are pending in a lawsuit. So the lawyer that is for the survivors, who represents them, was putting forward a lawsuit against Cosby and a whole bunch of other people. I think some police officers and whatnot, because there was a survivor that came forward and had trouble recalling all of the details. One, because she was drugged, and two, when you go through trauma like that, it takes some time to process everything, right? And it did take her some time to come forward. And the officers that took her statement basically said, well, some time has passed and you can't really recall anything, so you're probably making this up. I shit you not. I shit you not. I honestly shit you not. And this lawyer is fucking suing the ass off of everybody and the mother. And good on her. That she is doing everything in her power to, get justice for these survivors. And if that's the only way that they can get justice, like proper, full justice, money is not about everything, okay? Money isn't all is up to be, and these survivors aren't going for the money, they are just going for the justice and getting the word out that, just that this is really real, that this happened. You know, a lot of them have said, like, if we do get money, we aren't taking that money, we are putting it into resources and whatnot. Again, it's not about the money for them, it's about the fact that they want justice, and for it to have basically not a label but a title being like, hey, this fucker is guilty, right? Even if his ass is out of jail, he's still guilty. And I'm really glad that this lawyer is doing everything that she can for these survivors. Just the fact that there's officers out there in the law enforcement that have that attitude of like, well, it's been some time and you can't really recall the full details, so you're making this up or you're looking for attention. And it's just like, what the hell are you doing in law enforcement? Honestly, what the hell are you doing in law enforcement that is with that attitude? Because honestly, you just want to boot the bastard up the ass. And yes, I'm being very very vocal today because I have my heart and soul just goes out to these survivors and these situations, because I do have experience where it's just like, oh, well, I didn't see it with my own two eyes. Oh, you don't have enough evidence. Oh, you can't really recall the date and time and place and color of the person's top, so you're fucking making this up. And it's just like, whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck? When you are dealing with trauma and a lot of things and a lot of emotions at once, yeah, not all the details are going to be clear. And some of them you might add a few things here and there as time goes on because you're remembering things better. And, you're learning to cope and deal with everything that you're going through. And it's not this picture perfect scenario where you just sit down and you lay out all the fucking details. And there we go, it's nicely in print. It's never gonna happen. Even for me, I'm still, as I'm working through my trauma still and dealing with everything, there are things that I'm remembering that, wasn't exactly clear to me. Or I couldn't place it, you know, like, is this real? Did this actually happen? And as you're processing your trauma, you realize that it did, that this did actually happen, that you're not going crazy or whatever. It's just the way that the body and mind help you cope with trauma. And yes, it's kind of scientific and whatnot, but it is a fact that the body and mind do amazing things to protect you. And for officers or whatever, they always want the perfect layout of the perfect plan. And I apologize for the lighting. But going back to it, it's just they always want the perfect layout. That is the goal. And unfortunately, that never fucking happens. It doesn't. Like, you're not going to get the perfect case with the perfect evidence. I mean, occasionally that happens, but that's anyways. It's unlikely that you're going to get the picture perfect evidence and write up and verdict, and it's just frustrating how a lot of law enforcement and lawyers and judges handle cases like this. And the lawyer for the survivors basically said this is going to make it even harder for survivors to come forward, and that is just a fact. It is an honest fact. And I really, really hope that this doesn't discourage people from coming forward, but I can fully understand it if it does. Like, people have to look on it on all sides here. And the sides of the survivor, it's hard because you're dealing with all this trauma, and then you're dealing with wanting to come forward, and nobody's believing you, and you're just being treated like crap. And it's so frustrating. And I guess just to know for myself, going through all of that and kind of sitting here saying please don't give up is very hypocritical. I do realize that. But I really wish that, people did believe me, that they did want to support me, that I guess, this is me being a little bit hard on myself that I didn't give up so easily. But again, there's only so much a person can do, right? And I am so sorry for this darkness. I literally. Okay, we're gonna go over here. We are gonna go over here for now because, girl, it is. Okay, we're gonna shuffle that, and we're gonna be finished soon, so don't worry about that. But, is this gonna stand? I don't think it's gonna stand. I apologize, but anyways, it's just not that I gave up. It was just I hit all the walls, right? And I don't want that to discourage anybody. And this is shaking so much. I apologize. This is not good. This is not good. Okay. You know what? We're gonna go at this weird ass angle. We're just gonna go for it. But, just seeing this just like makes my heart break and just feel sadness because it is oh my lord. It is just so discouraging for survivors. And that's anybody with trauma, right? That is going through some shit. And it's so frustrating. So frustrating and so disheartening. And I just want survivors to know that you were believed and you were seen and you were being heard. And maybe it's not by the right people, the people that don't have the power to do anything. But support systems and knowing that you are being heard and seen and loved. It's not everything, but it for sure does something for survivors. And it gives them a little bit more courage to hang on and know that, they aren't crazy. And I just really want to hug all the survivors of Bill Cosby and let them know that they are being seen and heard and loved and believed. And yes, that this is a big blow to them. And yes, they are probably scared out of their fucking minds because their faces are out there. And even those who haven't come forward with or haven't been named in the court system or whatever or in the media, they are probably shit scared because they don't know if he's going to come after them, if anything is, in that matter. And I really hope that they are all safe and they are taking the precautions that they need. But I just want them to know that they are loved, they are seen, they are heard, and they are believed. And it's just, I know that this is really defeating, but just know that you are believed, I guess, is my message to end this off. That all survivors are believed, and they are heard, and they are seen, and they are loved. And I don't want to see that they aren't alone, because it is a very alone to go through. Even if you have the support system, you just feel alone. That this is something that you kind of feel like you have to go alone through. I know that doesn't make sense, but the support is there if you guys need and want it. I know it does take some time to want it. But just know, for the survivors out there, for any type of abuse, that you aren't alone, and when you need that support, we are here for you. And I just want you to know that just never give up and always keep fighting, because you aren't alone and you are very, very much loved. Some dark ass videos these are, guys, and there is no easy way around it, but I really hope that this kind of shines a light on some law enforcement's behavior that needs to change, some laws that need to be changed, and just honestly continue the fight for survivors. And I think I'm going to leave this here because these have been long videos. And light is going down because the sun is setting. But honestly, guys, thank you for the bottom of my heart from all the support. And I'm sure the families of videos that I cover, if they see these videos one day, you know, they're thankful for the support. So feel free to comment below on how you feel about this case, but remember to be kind just in case survivors do come across this video. Maybe leave something encouraging for the survivors, you know, show your love and support for them. But remember to always be mindful of your comments. Anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video. Remember, stay safe. Okay, guys?